Welcome to the final points edition of Inside Speedweek. July 4th would be the final night of the 600 Speedweek for 2009, and it would come to the Clyde Martin Memorial Speedway. Mike Rutherford, back in car number 6, would take the pole over 25 of micro sprint racing's best from all over the country. Notably missing from this list is the name of the current point leader, Jimmy Brookins, who would not make it out of the B main, meaning the championship was wide open for Lewis, Henley, and Murphy. Lewis having to finish 18th or better to win it. The command was given, and we were ready to go racing. 11 p.m. saw Mike Rutherford and Luke Thomas lead the field to the green flag. But it would be a short-lived green flag when Tyson Hall and Rick Steef had problems on the start. Caution flag immediately comes out. Next restart. Things would get a little wild. Smith, McIntyre, and Lewis round out the top 5 starters. The drop of the green, Rutherford was under heavy attack. McIntyre and Thomas challenging, but it's Rutherford that comes out with the lead. Thomas second. McIntyre continuing to work the bottom, and Tim Buckwalter's looking to join the fun. Thomas would stay loyal to the top line all night long, and it would eventually pay off. But early in the race, it looked like an uphill struggle. Shane Lewis working his way to the front here, trying to pass Chris Smith. As his counterpart in points, Heath Henley would do the same, threading the needle between Brock Bilger, Mike Dicely, and the tires. Things would get a little hairy for Heath, but he would continue on. Mike Rutherford had opened up quite a lead over McIntyre, Thomas, Buckwalter, and Lewis. The battle between Buckwalter and Thomas would get pretty extreme, Buckwalter going as far as driving over the inside tires to try to make the move. Caution number 2 would come out for the 39 of Brock Bilger as he would spin on the infield on lap number 7. The restart saw Rutherford challenged by McIntyre, and the two would pull away from the battle for third between Thomas, Buckwalter, and Lewis. Keep in mind, as Shane Lewis puts his nose into the battle, that at this point he would be crowned the Speedweek champion, so he has to be worried about keeping his nose clean. Caution flag would fly after somebody hit the cone on the restart, so we would do it again. This time, Rutherford would just pull away, McIntyre struggling a little bit on the start, and Buckwalter able to start the process a little earlier of making the move on Luke Thomas. But the caution flag would again fly, this time for the 44 of Mike Dicely. On the ensuing restart, it was Rutherford again, pulling away. McIntyre left to fend off the field. It would be a long run to the next caution flag on lap number 13, allowing Heath Henley to start picking off cars and close in on Shane Lewis. Henley, remember, has to finish one car in front of Lewis to win the championship. Buckwalter starts to go to work on Keith McIntyre for second, as Lewis passes Luke Thomas for the 4th position. Buckwalter would start to secure the 2nd position, taking it away from McIntyre. And now Henley starting to work when the caution comes out. Mike Freed bringing out caution number 5 of the event. At the drop of the green flag, McIntyre back in second, once again being pressured by Buckwalter. Right away, Henley goes to work on Thomas. Neither able to complete the pass, but Heath goes right back at it, working right against the tires, and starting to nose ahead of Thomas. Jake Murphy also doing his best to keep his championship hopes alive. Rutherford pulling away from the race for second between Buckwalter and McIntyre as Henley moved into the top 5 and started to reel that battle in. Buckwalter would secure second and set sail for the race leader Mike Rutherford. Time starting to become a factor before the fuel stop. Rutherford in traffic, or about to be in traffic, when Keith McIntyre loses his left rear wheel, ending a great night for him. A disappointing finish to a good week for the 19 team. The restart after the lap 19 caution saw Buckwalter challenge Rutherford to new top 5 Rutherford, Buckwalter, Lewis, Henley, and Thomas. Rutherford would again start to pull away from his challengers, but a lap 19 caution for the 24 of Mike Freed, who dumped water all over the speedway would bring the field right back together. There would be another caution for Mike Dicely hitting the cone before the restart when Tim Buckwalter pulls even with Rutherford. Rutherford would be able to hold him off using the high side of the speedway. Buckwalter would settle for second until we get to the fuel stop. Andrew Peter would do a complete 360 in a 94 car to avoid a caution, but there would be a caution on lap 21 for Dwayne Harbaugh and Tyler Walton. That would spark the fuel stop.
This is our halftime, if you will, the fuel stop here in the front straightaway.